Hi, my name is Taylor Quigley, and this is my poster of my personal learning reflections. Throughout my teaching practice at my placement school, I have had the opportunity to increase my professional knowledge and practice in a range of areas through different experiences and professional development courses. I have attended a number of professional development sessions delivered by the Australian Childhood Trauma Group. We learnt about how students have had experienced the trauma, such as living in refugee camps or physical abuse from their parents, and how this can have an impact on the brain, how it functions, and their capacity to learn. The sessions also provided me with knowledge and strategies I would incorporate into my future teaching practice to assist students in literacy, particularly in reading, when they are struggling to comprehend or infer what has happened. So these include giving them extensive language experiences, simplify my explanations, give them extra time to take the information in, give them ample opportunities to read and be read to, and give them a safe environment where students feel comfortable to have a go and talk about what they have just read. Some policies that align with this experience include the DET policies, so mandatory reporting. This is a duty of care that needs to be adhered to for students who you believe are unsafe in their home environment. Another professional learning opportunity that I was involved in was a walk to school day. The day involved the majority of the school meeting at a nearby park, getting their names ticked off, and walking to school as a whole school, along with parents, teachers, and other staff. This experience for myself was one where I was able to gain an understanding of how an excursion works. We had to guide students to school and assist them in walking across the road safely. This experience for the students was something that some of them don't have the opportunity to do outside of school for reasons such as safety. This experience provided a partnership between home, school, and the community. Students had the ability to grow their vocabulary, such as words like road, footpath, bicycle, lake, mud, and the street signs. We could then use these new words in our writing. Students could also write a recount about it, using their own experience, and learn the structure of how a recount is written, so who, what, when, why, and how, and using words such as first, next, and then. Students also had the opportunity to read new words, for example, street signs, such as stop and give way. I believe that as a teacher, you should use your students' funds of knowledge, personal experiences, culture background, and their prior knowledge in your literacy pedagogy, as this creates meaning for them. Many students may not have had the opportunity to experience a range of rich experiences to integrate into their literacy learning. Experience such as this could be kept in their virtual school bag. The language experience approach is one that I would use in my practice, as it increases engagement, promotes growth in vocabulary and oral language skills, and it allows for differentiation along with supporting less able literacy learners and allows students to write about a realistic experience. So Lorraine Wilson suggests that a language experience approach for developing children's language and therefore listening, speaking, reading, and writing. She said that each one of us is a product of our life experiences. For example, going for a walk can provide a student with an experience and a foundation to write something about. If they saw a dog and it jumped up and licked them, they could then write about this experience. Many students struggle to come up with the ideas. A socio-cultural emergent perspective acknowledges that experience that students have counts as literacy learning. Teachers should consider connecting what happens inside the classroom to what happens outside the classroom, so that literacy can be a meaningful tool for addressing issues in students' lives. Language experience supports the teaching of concepts about print. It extends the student's language through an authentic experience. It involves the students in creating extended oral and written text with teacher support. It provides structured meaning for recounting and describing personal experiences, as well as extending them to talk and write about ideas beyond the immediate environment. And it increases vocabulary. I have also had the experience of attending a 3-4 camp at Anglesea. This was an experience that many students had never had. Students were involved in conversations with peers, engaging and responding to others, improving oral language skills. Their new vocabulary included the words shore, ocean, and seaweed. As a literacy teacher, after this experience, I could focus on language, so the new vocabulary words, interacting with other peers and teachers in a new environment, talking to parents about experience, and talking at assembly about experience. I could focus on literacy, such as reading. So the students were involved in reading signs on the beach and down the street. Reading requires experience of the reader to understand meaning from the text. With these experiences at the beach, they may be able to understand the meaning of a book about the beach, for example. I could then focus on writing. They could write a recount of the day or of the whole camp experience, as this gives the students ideas to write about. They could also publish a recount in the school newsletter, and they could also write a class book about camp, and they could read this during independent reading time. So the camp experiences align with connections to the Victorian curriculum. So the Victorian curriculum has a connection with the experiences and knowledge that the students took away from this opportunity. Creating text and the features of it, for example a recount. Social interactions affects the way we engage and respond to others, the conversations that the students had during camp, and reading and responding to text in relation to experiences, so using camp as the experience. These were the related policies that I had to adhere to, including student medication information, parents' consent, and safety and emergency and risk management procedures. A case that occurred while I was on my professional placement was during one of my literacy lessons where students were taken out to do testing while I was doing ability group activities. Therefore, I had students in my group who were on various levels as the groups became mixed around. It became really hard to manage when some of the students couldn't identify letters and some could write the first 25 Oxford words, as our activity was to write down sight words. The groups were pre-arranged for reading levels. However, students may be at different levels depending on what area of literacy is being covered. For example, students may be on a different writing level compared to reading level. So questions I asked myself were, how would I manage this type of situation? Why is differentiation so important? And are there literacy activities that can engage students of different ability levels? I believe ability groups is a useful strategy for the teaching of literacy. However, mixed ability groups can be an effective and engaging literacy strategy for students, as they can be differentiated to meet students' individual learning needs. The students in each group need to have similar understandings of the concepts and tasks that are being taught. The model of differentiation, combined with a positive environment, in-depth curriculum, assessment, and teaching instruction where students respond to and is based around learning needs, is a key element to a quality classroom. The key for differentiating literacy lessons is to ensure the activity or task is relevant to the learning goals. However, Hattie suggests that you should group students of mixed abilities to allow them to move forward in their learning as they work with other students with a variety of skills. After doing some extensive research, I found that differentiating is an extremely important aspect of the classroom and student learning outcomes. As a teacher of literacy, I will offer students a positive, secure, challenging, and supportive learning literacy environment. I will also provide a meaningful, rich literacy curriculum that is designed to engage learners and is built around clearly articulated learning goals to both the teacher and the students. I applied this AITSL standard throughout my lesson as I was differentiating in my ability groups. So the AITSL standard is to differentiate teaching to meet the specific learning needs of students across a full range of abilities. At a graduate level, you should demonstrate knowledge and understanding of strategies for differentiating teaching to meet the specific learning needs of students across a full range of abilities. The role of the school in this case, I was adhering to their focus, which was ability focus groups. The role of the parents at my placement school were to assist with the morning ability groups and help us out with the activities. The role of the students was to participate and engage themselves in deep collaborative learning. Possible solutions to this lesson would be to realign the groups to suit the activity based on the student's ability levels or pre-plan for differentiating to cater for the varying ability levels. Theories that I wish to incorporate into my future teaching of literacy include the inquiry model, ideological model, and the autonomous model, as I believe these are effective. Other strategies I would also include are multimodal literacies, collaboration, and modelling to ensure the students are engaged. I will ensure that my teaching creates meaning for all students and allows for a variety of groupings, including both ability and mixed abilities, to foster active literacy learning and engagement. These professional learning experiences has allowed me to see how important real experiences are when teaching literacy. One of the most effective methods to use when teaching young children is to begin with what children know. We must provide children at home and in the program with lots of real-life, genuine, emotionally charged, multi-sensory experiences. The purpose of excursions is to expose children to diverse, real and new experiences. Listening, reading, writing, and language skills should be taught through these experiences and through everyday activities, projects, interactions, and explorations. Becoming literate is a process that begins at birth and continues throughout one's lifetime. Although children differ in their rates of literacy acquisition, there are several stages through which most children progress. Language learning that is functional and related to real-life experiences is an important part of learning to read and write. So in conclusion, the professional development and placement opportunities that I was involved in have allowed me to gain the knowledge, skills, strategies, and resources to become a more effective teacher of literacy. I hope you enjoyed my poster presentation. Thank you for listening.